America, home of the free and land of cheap fast food. How? We live in a democracy. Why? Because it's freedom. If we can live in a democracy, that means corporations can compete for cheaper food, like we have here. How can I afford cheap food? I have a good job. How do I have a good job that makes a lot of money? Because we live in a democracy. Okay, all the fast food I want, and drink whatever I want. Can we do this in a communist country? Well, not so fast. Why? The government controls it all. So what's it like to live in a communist country for 30 days? Well, we're going to figure that out and see just how different it is in communist Russia in the 1980s. Morgan Spurlock presents living in a communist country for the next 30 days. We're gonna hang out to the airport. Let's see what Russia's like for the next 30 days. So right now we're driving to the Fresno International Airport. We're headed to Russia. I am actually very nervous right now. I mean, I can barely hold my excitement. We're in a taxi. We'll see what we do. We're on our way, and we'll see what Russia's like for the next 30 days. By the way, I'm Morgan Spurlock. We just arrived in Russia for the next 30 days. I'm Morgan Spurlock. Our journey starts here. After arriving in Russia, the Putinov family was generous enough to let me and my crew join them for brunch. I immediately noticed how their command economy directly impacted their household. Due to the central government controlling all aspects of food supply, there were clear shortages in almost every Russian household. To my surprise and horror, they mentioned that they were too weak and too hungry to stay awake, and they all retreated to a basement where they slept in a tiny section. Vlad Putinov, the father, even mentioned that they one time had to sacrifice a member of their family whose identity was not revealed in order to eat as if they were in a southern Mississippi Golden Corral. So here we are in McDonald's in Russia. Today, we're going to see what the experience is like buying a hamburger at a Russian McDonald's. I'd like to buy this, sir. Well, isn't that un-American? They took all my money at this Russian McDonald's. But what exactly do we get? So here we are at a Russian McDonald's. This is our first meal of the day. I paid him $173 American. Let's see what that got us. Let's get a zoom in on this. Take a look at that. That is communism at its worst. The reason why this costs so much money, oh my gosh, look at that, is because the government runs everything, hurting the farmer, controlling how the cow goes from life to death to the plate. And that's a big, big issue. Wow. Get a load of that. This is what they expect. This is what Gorbachev expects his people to eat. For $171 American. This is unbelievable. I'm actually afraid to see what's next out there in the next 29 days. My next adventure was to explore a Russian shopping center. I immediately noticed just how little variety of literature there were to choose from. And since citizens have no choice but to shop at government-operated stores, prices could be inflated as high as desired. A true shock was in store next, when I noticed a gentleman attempting to purchase religious literature that somehow ended up on their shelves. He was denied and was then forced to instead purchase a promotional book on communism. As an attempt not to relive that encounter, I decided to explore elsewhere in the store. There was only one toy section that only contained stuffed animals in a jail cell-like room. So we're here at a Russian toy store. I mean, just look at the collection here. They actually expect Russians to pay upwards of $2,000 for one stuffed animal used, and many of these are imported from the United States. Just look at this place. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. We need to stop this now. Our next stop was a grocery store, where I encountered a man purchasing what Americans consider dog food in order to feed his family. In Russia, this is the only variety of food that the government provides its citizens, and very few can afford such a luxury. My last stop was a Russian pub where I asked a citizen about his daily life. So I'm here at Morgan Spurlock. We're here with a Russian citizen. What's your name?
Mr. S.
Mr. S, nice to meet you. What's it like as a citizen to live here in a communist society?
Are we in Russia? Back in the day? You know, it's okay. Yeah,
Thank you so much for your time.
you're welcome.
After making my pilgrimage to Russia, I can't help but realize how lucky we are to live in a democracy. My experiences have made it clear that living under total government control does no good for people. Living in a country that supports capitalism makes for positive uplift for the country and its people as a whole. I'm going to take this last line to say thank you to my president, Mr. Ronald Reagan, for withholding American values true to your heart as you lead us into the future.